welcome. Please start us off on your thoughts on your team's start to the 2018-19 season.
Well, I think we're a much improved team. We're playing better. We're competing at a high level against everybody that we've played. Our 4 losses, I think, are by 11 points. So in year 2, I think we're making the progress that we want to make. We wanted to be competitive. We wanted to be a team that plays extremely hard and with great energy and gets after it defensively and is aggressive on the offensive end as well. And I think, we're making progress. There's no doubt about it. We got to make sure we don't try to skip any steps and get in front of ourselves. We got to keep building it the right way with player development and individual skill development and team cohesiveness. And I think we're getting there. So I'm pleased where we're at, and I think we can continue to get better both individually and collectively throughout this year.
Thank you, Coach. And a reminder to everyone that please dial *1 to ask a question and enter our queue. Coach Gregory, you mentioned skill development and players continuing to get better. On your last game out, point guard LaQuincy Redoux with a triple-double, also picking up 10 steals in that game, the first-year player for you. Talk about what he's meant to your program this season.
Well, you start off in a good place when you got David Collins coming back at one of the guard spots, and then you add LaQuincy to the mix. And you got 2 physical guards that are, tough kids that compete and can do a little bit of everything from that guard spot, can pass, can really defend, and can score the ball as well. And, LaQuincy has just added a different dimension to our team because of his on-ball toughness defensively, but also his ability to impact the game in a lot of different ways. He scored, 25-plus points in a game. He's had 10 or more assists in a game. He averages, I think, almost 5 rebounds a game. So he's a complete player that is just, I think, scratching his surface in terms of really understanding and really playing, that point guard role at a consistently high level at this level of college basketball. A lot of guys transfer up and it takes them a while, and they get frustrated because some of the things that they were able to do maybe at a lower level, they're not able to do at this level. He's been able to adjust better than anybody I've seen, and he does it because he's an extremely hard worker. He's a student of the game, spends a lot of time on film, spends a lot of time in terms of getting in the gym extra and working on his game. And there's some gaps that he needs to, continue to fill, but he does, we have to build where we were at as a program. We needed to bring in the toughest kids that weren't going to listen to the naysayers or anything like that and wanted to build something here. And it was going to take an unbelievable self-confidence, an unbelievable self-commitment, and an unbelievable, mental and physical toughness. And him and David Collins and guys like that have shown that was the right decision when it came to what kind of guys we needed to bring in.
Thank you, Coach. And you mentioned David Collins, who's really continued his growth in his second season with the Bulls. Talk a little bit about his performance this season, offensively and as well on the defensive side.
Yeah, obviously I think, the challenge, I think last year with David is, even though he started playing well, he was injured a little bit in the league, missed some games. And, people kind of focused on the 3 grad players that we had, with their reputation coming in. And so now you go into this year, and David's a little bit more of a marked man, in terms of only David and Justin Brown in our playing group right now played for us last year. Obviously, David had a great freshman year being on the all-freshman team. And then the challenge is to step it up. Obviously, he's a much improved player. And again, the reason I'm excited about where we're at is I think he can get a lot better, and consistency is always the key. I heard Mick talking about a guy who has to bring it every single night, and that's, as a sophomore, that's a challenge. But at the same time, I think his skill package is improving, shooting the ball well, attacking the basket. He's starting to get his, again, a feel where he's able to share the ball priorities with LaQuincy. And, those two guys have played just 16 games together, but I do think they're a formidable combination. And I think as one gets better, the other one will get better as well.
And Coach, with a sophomore and then a redshirt junior in LaQuincy, we'd be remiss if we didn't ask about Alexis Yetna, a two-time American Athletic Conference Freshman of the Week, another strong performance, and now in consideration for his third award of the year. Talk about his development so quickly and being able to contribute at a high level, leading the conference with 10.8 rebounds per game.
Yeah, we challenged him before the year. I don't think anybody around the conference or even around our program, thought he was a guy who could lead the league in rebounding. But we did, and challenged him a little bit on that. And, there's a lot of guys that can score points, and a lot of guys who can average double figure in rebounds. And he just missed another double-double the other game against Temple. But, he's got a knack to rebound the ball, but he's got an unbelievable motor. And you can't teach either one of those two things. The things we can teach him and they can work on, you're starting to see. He's shooting the ball better from the three, shooting the ball a little better from the free throw line. He's finishing plays around the basket, defending better. He's just one of those guys that, has a non-relenting motor that just is always going after the ball, always going after rebounds. There's been some, offensive fouls on rebounds that he's gotten where he just beat the guy to the ball, but the guy was still underneath him, and again, sometimes, with players like him, with the energy that he plays with, he sometimes just outworks guys. And that's, kind of what our whole program is based on. So he's, you think of guards when you think of that, but he's, a forward that does that. So really pleased with his progress. And now the challenge is he's not an unknown commodity now. As we go into games, our opponents are going to be, challenging their guys to make sure that they cut him out and different things like that. So I always say the next step is once you kind of make a name for yourself, you got to take it up another level, and that'll be the challenge for him. Usually that doesn't happen to a freshman, but in Alexis' case it is.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate your time. Good luck tipping off action on Tuesday at Cincinnati, and we'll speak to you next month.